Hey guys, what's going on? This is Shash, and in this video, I want to cover how you can take your existing Facebook ad success, translate it to YouTube, and start getting awesome results very fast within 14 to 21 days. So this is for you if you're an advertiser that's doing really great on Facebook, you've got a really great offer, and you want to translate that success into YouTube. Before we get started, there are more videos in this playlist that go into high-level YouTube ad strategy, so make sure to check out some of the videos in this playlist. Now, I know Facebook has been banning ad accounts left and right, and I wanted to give you a quick blueprint to be able to translate your Facebook ads results into YouTube ads so you have some diversity, you have some security. Now, we've used this method to scale call funnels to over $1 million a month, to scale e-commerce brands, to scale all kinds of info products. So this can also be used for basically automated webinars, sales call funnels, e-commerce products. But yeah, let's get right into it. So the first thing you want to do if you want to translate your Facebook ad success into YouTube ads is to make a high converting video ad. So there's a very simple formula, right? So the first step is the hook. You want to grab their attention and basically tell them why they should watch this ad. You also want to call out your ideal audience with this. Now, the second step is actually to build credibility. So tell them why you're an expert, right? Tell them about your student results, tell them what your own results are, and then tell them what publications you were featured in, etc. You want to basically show them why they should trust you. Now, the third part of a really great script is you want to tell them what the offer is. So you describe what you're going to teach in your training, or if it's an e-commerce product, basically go over what the product does and how it does it. And then the fourth step is actually the benefits. So tell them the end benefits and not the features of the offer or the product, and what the end result will be for them. So you want to be very clear what the end result will be, right? It might be being healthier, being better looking. It might be that they have a higher income. You want to kind of basically tell them what the final end result will be. Now, after that, you want to add in your first call to action, where you tell them to click on the link and you tell them to click either above or below, and you want to be very clear as to what they need to do. So you want to tell them, hey, go click on this link above or below and go opt in for this awesome webinar where I'm going to teach you XYZ. So being very specific helps with basically increasing your opt-in rates. Now, the next piece that we like to use is we often add in social proof, right? So this could be something like testimonials. This could be something like the reviews you've gotten. The key is to show other people who've gotten awesome results from clicking on this offer and basically buying whatever you sell. So that's really important. Now, after that, you want to recap the offer and ask them to click again. That's the key, right? Like, you want to have at least 2 call to actions where you tell them, hey, now that you know more, go click on the link above or below and we can get you started as soon as possible. Now, the second step of the process is you want to start testing various audiences. You've got a great video ad, so now you can set up your campaigns and start testing different audiences. So you want to set up your campaign initially with maximize conversions bidding type. You want to target USA and English only if that's your target audience. Make sure not to target video partners on display network. So you want to make sure you do not do that. So basically that's extremely important because that could result in worse results because your videos could show up in apps, etc. Now, I suggest an initial budget of at least $50 to $75 a day per campaign and around 5 to 6 campaigns. You would want to target 1 audience per campaign and ad set and have 2 to 3 ads per campaign. Some of the initial campaigns you can set up is you can set up placement campaigns targeting the videos of your competitors or big names in the niche. So for example, if there are competitors that have YouTube channels, what you can do is actually target them with placement targeting. And this would allow you to basically target exactly who your competitors are. Now, we use TubeSift to basically scrape the video list, so you can use TubeSift to create these list of videos from your competitors' channels. Now, the second type of audience that I highly recommend testing out is custom affinity audiences. Basically, it's custom audiences, but you build them off a URL, and you want to base this off your top competitors, right? And basically put their website URL into custom audiences and you will have that. So for example, if you're a dating coach for women, then you can create a custom affinity audience based on cosmopolitan.com. Now, the next kind of targeting you should try is keyword campaigns based on the main buyer intent keywords that people search on your niche. So for example, if you're selling a course on how to become a successful real estate investor, I would highly recommend targeting keywords like real estate investing tips. Now the next step is the optimize phase. In this phase, you want to start optimizing and try to actually get profitable, right? So basically there are a few simple rules. The first rule is that if your ad is getting less than a 1% click-through rate on a bunch of audiences, it usually means that your ad is weak and that you need to revisit and do another take. Now, it could also be delivery, it could be that the content is weak or the quality of the audio is weak, but essentially the main thing that I've noticed is a below 1% CTR typically means there's issues with the creative. Now, there are exceptions, but that's something to keep in mind. So the second step is you want to pause individual ads if they spend 2x your whatever your target goal per acquisition is. So if you want leads for $15, any ads that have a $30 cost per lead, you want to pause them immediately. Or if they haven't had a conversion after $30, pause them immediately, right? That way you're basically saving money, and that's at the ad level. You also may want to pause campaigns if you're basically getting 2 times your target cost per result without actually getting any results, right? Now, if your click-through rate is pretty good, it's above 1%, but your cost per lead or cost per sale is super high, then what that probably means is that you either need to try different types of audiences to find cheaper audiences that will make your numbers work, or perhaps you need to optimize your landing page or product page or whatever page you're sending traffic to make sure that it converts people at a higher rate. Now, on the other hand, if your cost per lead is really great, but you're not really getting any actual sales or people aren't booking a call if that's what you're trying, then it might actually be an issue with your sales page, your product page, etc. So you kind of have to look at where the numbers are breaking, whether it's on the ad side, in which cases it's often click-through rate, or whether it's on the funnel side, it could be obviously different pieces of the funnel, and you basically have to look at everything holistically. Now the fourth step is scaling. So if you're starting to get really good results now, you may want to start transitioning your bidding campaigns to target CPA bidding type, as that's usually the most effective bidding type, right? So usually, as I said, you start out with maximized conversions. Now, if you start scaling, what you want to do is take some of your campaigns, not all of them, maybe 1 or 2, and switch them to target CPA, wait for 5-6 days, see how they're doing, and if the results are positive and your cost per lead is going down, then keep switching all of your campaigns over to target CPA. Now, you also want to increase budgets on your campaigns. So this depends on basically how fast you want to go. Typically, we recommend going anywhere from 10 to 20%. But if you're spending lower amounts, then you can increase budgets more aggressively. So if you're basically, let's say, launching campaigns at $25 a day, actually 4x the daily budget to $100 a day, and then from $100 a day, you may want to increase it by 20%, right? So it really depends on how aggressive you want to be. So for example, if we're spending like 15, 20K a day on an account, we'll launch campaigns at $500 a day, bump them to $1,000 a day if they're working, and then increase by 10 to 20% per day, right? But you have to be aware that bigger changes basically cause the algorithm to go a little crazy and results might be subpar for a few days, which is why, basically if your ad spend on account level is super high, then you can be more aggressive. But if your ad spend is pretty low, then you may not want to go from 100 to 200 a day. You may want to go by 100 to 120. So you're, basically because that one campaign is a bigger chunk of your account spend, so you want to be more conservative with it. Now, we basically scale a campaign if it hits a few criteria, right? Number one is if the campaign has done well over the last 24 hours, and number two, if the campaign has done well over the last 7 days. So we want to make sure both of these criteria hit, right? We don't want to push spend on a campaign that did well over the last 7 days, but yesterday was just an awful day, because as you push spend, the algorithm's going to re-optimize and, those results might go down. So it's better to push spend after a day that was really solid. Now, for accounts that are actually doing really well and you have higher spend and you want to scale faster, the way you scale faster is launching newer campaigns at a higher budget. So for example, if we're starting an account out and the total is $300 a day budget all over the account, we might start campaigns at $25 to $50 a day. On the other hand, if you're spending $5,000 a day, we're going to start campaigns at $100 or $200 or $300 a day, because we want to get data faster and be able to find the winners faster and basically be able to increase spend faster. So that's kind of how we deal with increasing account spend while maintaining profitability, right? Like, the smaller the account spend is, the more of a higher risk it is to launch a high budget campaign, which is why typically with higher spending accounts, that's where you start with higher spending campaigns. Now, what we don't want to do is to be very aggressive with our core performers, right? So one thing we've seen is sometimes you'll have campaigns that will provide amazing results and you want to slowly scale them, but you don't want to scale them too aggressively. That's why with our main performers, we're fairly conservative, increasing spend by 10-15% a day as long as performance holds. But with these new campaigns, that's where we might be like, all right, from day one, we're gonna spend a higher amount because we want to quickly see if they work or if they don't. And if they don't work, it's okay because we didn't lose anything, right, other than a bit of ad spend. On the other hand, if you have a really high performing campaign that's been a mainstay of your account for like months, you don't want to double budget on that overnight and potentially kill it, right? You want to be very careful with that. So those are a few tips to get started. So I hope you liked this video. Now watch the next video that I'll link to here. It's about how to launch a 6-figure digital course. It's about how we did that without me even appearing on camera. So we launched a course, and actually recently we've been making 10 grand a day with this course. Go check that out. Hope you enjoyed this video and smash the subscribe button. I'll see you soon.